Parents say, oh, she'll figure it out and course correct after failing her courses this semester. Unfortunately, that isn't really the way it works with ADHD. The ADHD brain doesn't always learn from its mistakes. So I have a little story to share with you, and it illustrates how parents get duped into thinking that their teenager will learn from their mistakes. I am coaching a sophomore in high school, and we're going to call him Hank. Hank is very sweet. He's a deep thinker. He's really quite bright, and he achieves mediocre grades at school. But his big problem is truancies. When Hank's older brother takes him to school, he stays at school the whole day, no problems. But when Hank is allowed to drive his own car, he somehow can't manage to find his way to the schoolhouse. Or if he does arrive in the morning, then he drifts off campus right around lunchtime and never returns to school. You might think that this is an easy situation to solve. I certainly do. But his parents continue to incentivize Hank with his car. They believe that if he attends one full week of school with no absences, then he should get his car back. And they actually believe that Hank will have perfect attendance that next week because he will have learned from being grounded from his car. But that doesn't work. It's never the case. The ADHD brain doesn't learn from its mistakes in the way that you might think. Reflection, self-awareness, anticipating cause and effect, proactively choosing a different course of action the next time. Well, these are all cognitive functions of the brain, in the brain, and they're all called executive functions. And they are the very skills that are necessary and required in order to learn from one's mistakes. At best, parents, you can expect that these skills are going to be at least 2 to 3 years in developing in a brain with ADHD, mild or severe. Add to that the ADHD hallmark trait of impulsivity, and there you have the reason why teens with ADHD aren't really going to fail up and learn from their mistakes. But brain training is what it takes. Training the adolescent brain to do the right thing requires setting a sensible, predictable, student-friendly routine and sticking to it. In time, what you practice with your teenager with lots of repetition quickly becomes set and molded into their brain's network. The constant repetition day after day after day of the habits you desire will become the established default highway system in their brain. And when that happens, even the old bad habits get pruned away. That's a scientific fact, and it's the process called neuroplasticity. Your teenager's brain is at the height of plasticity. Plasticity means that right now, their brain will change and adapt faster to their environment and their experiences than during any other stage of their life. Start the basic brain training camp now. This brain training also includes building habits by reinforcing desired behavior with lots of genuine positive reinforcement. Like, Hank, wow, look at these grades. You've just proven that 80% of success is just showing up. Good for you. Hey, Hank, what kind of incentive might help you stay the course and make a repeat performance for a second week of no absences or tardies? Let's write down that prize on next Friday's date in your student planner, and then you can cross out each day from now until then as you add to your streak of no absences. Heck, Hank, you're already halfway there. So to wrap up, it's easy to assume teenagers will do better next time and gradually figure out life through their micro failures. Well, that works with neurotypical kids, but parenting a teen with ADHD requires a very different approach, which here we refer to as brain training. Proactively establish and execute the routine, practices, and habits needed for success at school and home every day over weeks and months with your teenager. Regardless of how they feel about it, they will adapt quickly because their brains are developing faster than ever. And neuroplasticity is at its peak. Tons of positive reinforcement from you, mom and dad, will help them stay the course through this critical brain training.